While Unreal doesn't have its own built-in overlapping functionality for widgets, you can see I've got it working right here, and actually it isn't even that difficult to make this work. So let's get started with an entirely empty project here, the finished version of which will be down below in the description as always for YouTube members and Patreons to download and check out. Jumping right into it, it's fairly easy to set this up. We're going to go make a blueprint function library, call it something like BPF for blueprint functions, and we'll call this widget utils or something of that sort. We only really need to make one function here, and we'll call that our widgets overlapping. The way that we're going to be doing this is we're going to be checking this specifically per two widgets. So we can take in a widget A, which will be a variable of type widgets, obvious, and then a widget B that we're going to be checking it against. Both are going to be widgets. The output will be a bool value on whether or not they're overlapping. So call that overlap. I'm just going to keep the return out here. We'll add that in at the end. Now we're going to be making a little local variables here, just because otherwise it's going to be a noodly mess to deal with these things. But first and foremost, what we want to do is we want to get the geometry for both of these widgets. The geometry is just going to be the square that they're inside, where they are, how big they are, all that type of stuff. So we can get the cached geometry for both of these, and we're going to make those variables again, just because they're easier to keep track of. So call those GeoA and also then GeoB, and that's what we start with setting. Then we need to figure out where on the screen in pixels are these things located. And when we look at where things are located in widgets, generally speaking, the position is the top left corner. And then when we have that, we can figure out the top line is going to be at 0, obviously. The left line is going to be at 0 in its own axis. And then these two lines are going to be however big the size of the entire thing is in both X and Y. That gives us all the information that we need to figure out if two of these are overlapping or not. So let's start by making variables to keep track of the viewport position of the top left pixel of both of these geometries. And that's fairly easy to do. We can get a local to viewport node, takes in a world context object. You can just kind of give in any of these widgets, doesn't really matter. The local coordinates that we're going to be trying to figure out is going to be 0, 0. Because again, we're looking from 0, 0, the top left, and calculating everything from there. So we do that for both geometry A and also geometry B. Just to keep track of things, I'm going to put everything to do with geometry B up on the bottom here, and everything to do with geometry A is going to be up on the top. But yeah, so we hook up geometry B to the geometry here, and then we get in the pixel position and the viewport position. Right now, we really only care about the pixel position that we're going to be working with, because the size that we're going to be checking in a moment is also going to be in pixel position. We can promote it to a local variable, and that will be position A. It's going to be the top left pixel of widget A, and then pixel position for B is going to be position B, and we can set both of those as well. Then we need to get the sizes for both of these, which is equally easy to do. We get geometry A and we get geometry B, and then we just get size, get the absolute size, because now that we are in viewport space, we care about the absolute size. How big is this thing in the whole view, not just how big is it compared to whatever it is inside. Because if this is inside of a different widget and that widget then gets scaled down, those two things can start being different values. But for the absolute size of GeoA, again, we just make that size A local variable, and then get absolute size for GeoB. We make that a local variable size B. Now these local variables, obviously you don't need to do that for all these. You can just connect up a whole bunch of noodly mess if you really want to. Believe me, this is going to save you a lot of headaches in a moment. Because now that we have all the information that we need to start doing a bunch of checks. And let's go back to the example that I have here of these two squares. How do we figure out if these two are overlapping? Well, we've got the right side of our blue square. If that right side is at a position in the x-axis that is greater than the left side of our red square, we know that there is a chance that they're overlapping. If this right side here is at a position that's lower than the left side of the red square, there's no chance that they're overlapping, right? Ever. Like, I can make this thing go as far left as I want. It's never going to be overlapping with this. If they're overlapping, I know that the right side of this square is going to be beyond the left side of this square. If that's the only thing we check though, this also is going to be considered an overlap, because the right side here is past the left side there. So what we also check is this left side being lower than the right side of this. So the blue right is now bigger than the red left. So they overlap, they overlap, they overlap, they overlap, they overlap, they overlap, they overlap. They keep overlapping. And now, as long as this left side for the blue is still under the right side for the red, they still are overlapping. The moment this thing has its left side further than the right side of red, they're no longer overlapping. So both of those checks need to be true for them to overlap. The moment one of them isn't true, that means either the blue square is to the left side or fully to the right side of our red square over here. So that's checking it in one axis. If we do the same thing for the up to down axis, we check if this bottom line is past the top line for the red, and we check if the top line for the blue is still less than the bottom line for the red. All four of these checks need to be true in order for us to be overlapping. Even if it's just by a single pixel, we now know this blue line is beyond this red line, and this blue line is beyond this red line. If we go to the other side and this corner, we now know this blue line still isn't beyond this red line, and this blue line still isn't beyond this red line, so we're still overlapping. So we're going to do 4 of those checks, and only if all 4 of those checks are true will we know that these are overlapping in any sort of way. So you can see where we're going with that. We're going to be making some variables for that. We will call those A left under B right. Next one will be A right over B left. Next one will be A top under B bottom. And the final one will be the A bottom over B top. And then we just set all of these. So let's drag all of those in, holding Alt to get setting nodes for them. And one by one, we're going to figure these out. So A left under B right, we get the position of A and the position of B. We can split the structure pins on those because we only care about the x-axis in this case. We want to check if our A position in the x is less than our B position in the x plus our B size. Once again, split structure pin in the x. And then the result of that is going to be whether or not our A left side is under our B right side. This is quite a compact bit of nodes. If you didn't have all of these local variables, you'd have a lot of noodly mess coming over all this. That's why we made the local variables, because this actually is readable. Then we check the right side over the left side, and we pretty much just, I'm going to drag in the size for A as well, because we're kind of just going to be copying a bunch of this over and just changing a couple of things. Because right now what we're going to do is we're going to get the A position and add to that the A size. So that's the bottom one here for the X. And then we're going to be checking whether or not, instead of less than, if that is greater than just the naked B position. We don't need to worry about the size here. And that does the x-axis. Now we just need to do the exact same thing as we've done here, but with the y-axis. So again, I just kind of copy all of this stuff over, and we just kind of move this all over to the respective y-axis things. That's really all there is to it. Then the ones that we don't use, you can delete. And that's pretty much all there is to it. Now, just connecting up those bools, just like this. Make sure that we have all the setting nodes connected in the execution flow. We have all 4 of the bools, figuring out whether or not those 2 things are overlapping. All we need to do is go back to the beginning where I parked my return node for, put that up at the end here, and we will return just a AND operation of all 4 of those booleans. So I'll return a AND boolean, give that 4 input pins, and just input all 4 of these. If any of these end up not being true, the entire AND boolean will return false. only when all 4 are true will this end boolean say yes, these are in some way overlapping. That's the entire function. So let's just real quick put together a widget to show you that it works. Make a user interface widget blueprint, user widgets, WBP, let's call it HUD. Add a canvas panel to it, and I'm just going to be adding 2 quick images. Align both of these to the center. Color and opacity. I'm actually going to make the opacity a little lower. Let's say 60% on both of these. Make them the same colors as before, so that's going to be blue. And then copy that over and make the next one red. The reason that I'm doing the opacity is just so that you can then see them overlapping. Maybe actually I'll make the opacity even lower, something like 40%. That way you can easily see when they are and are not overlapping. So we've got these 2 squares, and all that we need to do now for demonstrational purposes is in event tick, we do our widgets overlapping, put in widget A and widget B, put both of those in, and we're going to just print a string real quick on whether or not they are overlapping. I'll make a key called overlap. That way it's going to replace the print string every time we rerun it. And then if we real quick go into the third person character, I already set this up previously, but we construct our HUD on begin play, add it to the viewport, just basic stuff. And then you can see they are, in fact, not overlapping, and it is printing false, so good. Then when I go back in here and I overlap them even just by a little bit, if I then play again, it will now say, yes, they are in fact overlapping. And now you can see as I move, this thing also moves. It's all false. And then the moment these 2 things even slightly overlap, it's true. And when it goes all the way through, it's still true, 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 true. And now it will be false. Same thing here. So we have functioning widget overlapping code, just like that. Again, if you want these project files to just mess around with, look at this function a little bit, there's a link down below in the description for YouTube members and patrons. It really does help out supporting the channel, letting me make these types of things as well. So it is much appreciated. And hopefully this ends up being useful for you. And a very big thank you to all my Patreons. You can see them on screen right now. If you want to help support the channel or get any of the project files in any of my tutorials, there's a link down below to the Patreon page to support me, or alternatively as a YouTube member. My Cave student tier supporters, Oiku, Earl, Monseville Urno, and my Cave digger tier supporters, Mauricio Farias.